Welcome everyone to the channel. Thank you so much for joining. And I am here to talk about the Mandalorian episode. I want to say it's episode 6, Guns for Hire. I'm just really going to get right into it. I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode, and it just had aspects of the episode that I don't know. It just felt it was just a solid okay for me. And I think for me what made it kind of okay was the fact that really what it was the middle portion of this episode. I like the beginning part where, you know, team ups. I love team ups. I love all of that. Have them going on their journey to figure out what they got to do, and the chemistry between Mando and Bo Katan is great. But once they got to that planet and had the whole situation going on with the celebrity cameos, I mean, you had Lizzo and Jack Black. I mean, look, they're great. And I'm going to go against anybody that's had loved these celebrity cameos. I thought it was kind of cool to see the celebrity cameos, but I think it just was baking on them a little too long, and it really just took me out of it. I mean, the more and more I kept watching it, I was like, why are we hanging on these scenes with them? And, nothing against Lizzo. I think she's a phenomenal artist. I think she's, great at what she does, but she's not the best actor. So when they were giving her so many lines, I was kind of confused because I know she's doing the best that she can. So I'm not trying to knock her, but it did seem like, and it just didn't come off as natural. I mean, Jack Black is doing Jack Black. He's good. He's going to be good, but he kind of came off kind of like a yuck 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 kind of character. And then you have the introduction of Christopher Lloyd, aka Doc Brown from Back to the Future. And I think out of all the characters, he to me probably felt the most compelling. But even then, his performance was kind of like okay because they really didn't do a whole lot with his character to really get behind what was the whole idea with the droids. So that was like just those parts of the story just really just took me out of it. I mean, I did like the whole thing about Bo Katan and Din Djarin investigating the malfunctioning droids. I like that. I like that whole concept of what they were going through, even though there was a moment when I was like, okay, where are we going with this? But I did like that because I like how they were even giving us more information about this droid culture and sitting out there in droid rights, and that I guess you can say quote unquote they're people too, but we don't need to treat them as if they're nobody. Of course, Din Djarin has this whole type of iRobot mentality where I don't trust droids are the worst, get them out of here. But I really did like that. I really did like the fact that we were getting that different type of personality. Well, I don't want to say personality, but the different idea and concepts on droid life. And I love the fact that when they got into the bar, they went to the droid bar, and all the droids like stopped and froze and chilled and looked at them like, what the fuck are y'all in here for? And they just kind of looked at them as they just walked through, which I thought was pretty cool and creepy at the same time, but still pretty cool because it kind of gave a concept like, droids got to hang out too. They gotta hang out and get their oil or whatever they need to get through the day. But it was also really good to hear that they say humans don't ask for a lot. They don't want to be replaced, and we really want to help you to get down to the bottom of what's going on. So I liked all of that. I even liked the ending. The ending was the best for me. I think the ending by far, that was good. The way that Bryce Dallas Howard did the ending, the action scenes, I thought that was great. The only problem I had with it was I wish that we had more leading up to that. Like, I mean, come on. When Bo Katan is about to fight this guy, we know she's going to win. We know she's going to win because there is nothing, there are no stakes. We don't know who this guy is, even though he was in season 1. That's the only time we saw him was in season 1. We didn't really see him again since. Or was it season 2 that we saw him? I can't remember, but it was just really one episode. So when she's fighting this guy for this leadership type position, I'm like, we know she's going to win, but if we had spent more time with him and developed his character, then this particular fight scene I felt would have had a lot more weight when it came time to it. But at this particular situation, we don't know what the hell is going on. And we know she's going to win. We know she's going to win. Even though the fight scene was good. I must admit, the fight scene was pretty damn good. There just really weren't any stakes. So I felt that if we were going to introduce this character, at least give us more. Give us more time with this character in other episodes leading up to this. So by the time they have their fight, it really means something. And it just doesn't look like, you already know she's going to win. Also, too, I love the fact that she got the dark saber, but I did feel like maybe they were rushing that along a little bit, because it did, like, why didn't Din Djarin realize this before the situation with, like, okay, well, she beat the person that beat me for the dark saber, so I don't need to go ahead and give it to her. It's not until this moment that he realized, and maybe he just didn't realize until this moment came, like, you know what? She actually did beat me. Technically, she beat me because she beat the person that beat me. So, I don't know, but maybe I'm getting a little nitpicky here with that. But I really did like the fact that she finally got the dark saber, because I really see now we're going to start really getting this development of her taking back Mandalore. But then I kind of scratched my head a little bit, and I'm like, okay, who is she going to take Mandalore from? I don't know. So I have some questions here, and there's been a lot of talk that there's a lot of action and a lot that's going to happen in these last two episodes, because there's only 8 episodes to this series. So once she gets this dark saber, then I start to just scratch my head and like, okay, now she got the dark saber. Where are we going to go now? What are we going to do? But I'm glad she did get it, though. I wish that maybe the stakes were just a little higher for her to get the leadership position, and I wish that maybe something had happened for her to get the dark saber. But I'm kind of feeling like they kind of have to push the story along, because there's something that's going to be happening in episodes 7 and 8 that are going to be pivotal for this season. And as we can see in the Ahsoka trailer, could be leading on to other things as well. The only other thing about this episode, and maybe I would say the series, and it's something that I'm starting to see lately, is what is really going on with Mando and Grogu. So the episodes that we've had all these 2 seasons have been about Din Djarin and Grogu mostly, and their journey going through finding what they need, meeting people along the way. And it's called The Mandalorian, but it really doesn't seem to be focusing on these characters that much. It seems like The Mandalorian is mostly focusing on Bo-Katan. It seems to be this is mostly Bo-Katan's season rather than it is The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is completely fine. But I can understand some people's gripes about it, thinking that, okay, when are we want to find out what's going on with Grogu and Mando? But I digress. I think overall, though, I mean, I really am enjoying the series. I did feel like they give Bryce Dallas Howard, these like throwaway episodes, though, because she is good. So, give her stuff to work with. Like, you don't have to give her this throwaway episode with these cameos in them that just come out of the middle of nowhere. And I think that's why I didn't like this episode, because I felt that those cameos and the amount of time that we spent, it just completely took me out of the episode. I was talking to one of my friends, Cola, and she loved the episode, which, shout out to Cola that she loved the episode. Good for you. I really didn't like it, but she did make a good point. Like, why did I like Megan Thee Stallion in She-Hulk's cameo, but I didn't like this cameo so much with Lizzo and Jack Black and Christopher, I think it's Christopher, I can't remember, but Doc Brown. So I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I guess the reason why was because uh, the cameo with Megan Thee Stallion, for one, she didn't have a lot of lines, and it didn't seem forced. It was simply her coming into the office to sign a contract, and then she was doing some dancing, and it was the end of the episode. It was literally just the end of the episode. This was a major part within the middle of the episode, and Lizzo had a lot of lines. I think she even had more lines than Jack Black, which was blowing my mind. Like, why is she getting so many lines? And I get it. She is doing her best because acting is not easy. I commend so many people that act because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I did feel like they gave her too many lines for this much meat in the middle of the episode. And I think that's what it was. If Lizzo was in the middle of She-Hulk talking as much as that about a bunch of stuff, I'm like, okay, look, you're taking me out of the episode now. Like, we don't need all of that. So I think if you want to bring her into the Star Wars canon and universe or any of these other characters, just give them more meat. Give them more meat and potatoes. But in Lizzo's case, I think less is more until she get her acting chops up. But that was the difference between Megan Thee Stallion and She-Hulk on why Megan Thee Stallion and She-Hulk and Lizzo in this particular episode on why I was feeling one cameo more than the other. But other than that, it was a solid okay. You know, I didn't hate the episode, but the needle, it kind of leans more into like, I don't know if this really wasn't my favorite episode. And but it doesn't mean I don't love the series. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody that loved this episode. If you love this episode, fantastic. I support you in you loving the episode because we are all love Star Wars. We love these characters, and I'm not going to bash anybody that loved the episode. This is just my personal opinion. I just really wasn't feeling that much, but that doesn't take anything away from me on how much I love the series. I still am a big fan of the series. But this episode, it was okay. Anyway, that's my review of episode 6, Guns for Hire. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I actually did a watch along, but unfortunately the audio didn't work, so that's why I'm coming on here to just talk about the episode and just let you know my thoughts. And as always, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a part of the family. Check out all the videos. I'm going to have reactions and breakdowns and watch-alongs and much, much more. And I'd like you to be a part of that as I go on this journey. And if you want to see more of me, please come along. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Corey Roy, and I'll see you back here on another review. Bye.